Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Ketchup and I'm joined on the desk this week very excitedly by the master behind the 40 Lions Den. It's 40 Lions joining me today. This is week number 10 of the Quake Pro League. And right as we get stuck in, hi, how's it going?
Hi, I got on the wrong bus. I didn't realize. I thought I was going to the mall. I guess I just stopped in. Say hi. No, NA needed more of a presence on here, okay? I'm going to be honest. I love all the EU guys, but come on. A little bit more NA love. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's been a long time coming since we've had, I guess, some extra talent, I suppose, on the desk, and it is really nice to have you here because, we do have the Americas portion every single week, and it's nice that there's a bit more representation, so the semi-bias that exists can either not exist if it's been balanced out, or maybe because you're here, it's going to become even worse on the flip side. But I know on a personal note, it's going to be quite nice to kind of see some of, your traditional crew up and running in official QPL status, but there's quite a lot to talk about in week number 10. We are 1 week away from our next LAN, Luca Comics and Games, where our players are going to be flying in, playing for relegation periods, the championship bracket, of course, to find out who our next champion is going to be. But getting through week number 10, I think there's still some ways to go. This is going to be quite a long broadcast, as they always are. We have plenty of matches, and I'm kind of looking now at the last few storylines, some talking points and some things for us to, I suppose, think about as we go into Luca next week.
I mean, first of all, shouts to Genic, right? I don't know if people saw that coming, but shouts to Genic, one of the contenders. Then we got Dewey on the NA side. Then, of course, we got Cypher and CNZ. We got some heavy hitters coming in. These guys are going to have to try their hardest to fend them off. We'll see exactly who is going to be on the chopping block by the end of the day here, but a lot of good games coming up. I'm ready. I'm excited to be here, and I'm flattered that you called me talent. You didn't have to do that, but thank you.
It's the official term, but I think it's double-barreled when it comes to you, mate. But yeah, fundamentally, we've had a lot of time, I think, to kind of see what kind of shape some of the players are looking in, both Challengers and Pro League. Some of the players like GaRpY, for example, are going to be a little bit on the chopping block because we're now going into Italy, and we're finding out that players like Cypher will be in attendance. Another shout to Cypher for making it into the relegation situation where he can actually maybe try and dethrone some of the players, and by the shape he's looking in the challenges, he's more than informed to do it. He just needs to be able to perform on LAN for Quake Champions, something that he's kind of been very, very, I suppose, hit and miss with. But if there is any time he needs to play his A game to sort of claw his way into Pro League, now is better time than ever to do it. I've just been informed we do in fact have the leaderboards to see, so we kind of see what kind of shape the players are looking in. It has been 10 weeks of constant games, so obviously you get points for wins. If you get 3-0, you get nothing, and I think that kind of mixture has given us a nice variety of results, 40.
I mean, look at that. Kilson at the top, reigning champ right there. Wenger nipping at the heels. Just the frags are nuts. Points just edging out Wenger. I mean, Wenger was a talking point earlier off the stream. How do you feel about Wenger going in? Hometown hero here in Italy. How do you think he might fare?
We're on the verge from becoming full circle. Wenger, I suppose his breakout performance was his performance at Luca Comics and Games last year. He had the hometown advantage. He was, I think, the people's champ in many ways, but he himself went into that tournament with a lot of pressure. Obviously didn't win that tournament. It went to Razy, hence the tournament that I think gave him the mantle of God Slayer, because Razy's, his run at Luca was more than ridiculous. But Wenger, he had a very impressive showing, and it was more than enough, I think, to put his name on the map. And now, wind the clocks forward a year later, his shape has been better than ever. If you talk to him behind the scenes, he's been saying, look, I feel confident, I feel good, I feel like my shape is better than ever as well. And who knows, maybe put it forward 1 year, and is it going to be the tournament Wenger can take it? He's going to have to beat Kilson, and Kilson is the current world champ.
Yeah, let's take a look at the world rankings now as we break it down. Look at that. We got the Professor on top. I mean, I'm just saying. That might not surprise a lot of people. I'm just saying. But then, again, Kilson, DeHang, Cooler. We got a lot of the names near the top that we expected. And then some of them that we didn't expect near the bottom. Avex struggling a little bit. I mean, shouts to my NA boys, right? Everyone's going to hate on them. But they're out here trying every day, trying to clap cheeks. And all right, it's not over till it's over. Never say die.
But I also think it is, I mean, it comes down to QuakeCon, doesn't it? The Americas didn't really have an amazing run. I know some players like Rafa and Dahang that you... No offense, buddy! But fundamentally, someone like Rafa and Dahang, they're going to be fine. Saigib is sitting there in the world ranking, not necessarily because of his results in the Pro League itself, but because he too had a pretty damn solid QuakeCon. He had to face off against Tox in those championship brackets that we saw at QuakeCon. But yeah, on the flip side of that, it's very much been a constant back and forth with, I suppose, the mid-level and lower for America, right? That's just the way it's been. But you got players like GaRpY who, bless him, he's given it his best, but I just think that in the Pro League in particular, there's just that next level he needs to ascend into, which he was able to do a while ago, but isn't quite able to do it at the moment. Recently was able to secure himself a win, defeating Hron 2-1, if memory serves me correct. So, by all means, we can't count GaRpY out in terms of competitive shape, but that shape's been a little bit hit and miss. The same thing for Spart1e, and I guess it's almost fitting that we have got the schedule coming up soon and the matches that we're going to be seeing throughout the course of the night. Spart1e versus GaRpY being the first match we're going to see. That's become quite a nice little rivalry, I think.
I dig it. I mean, it's always a party with Spart1e. I think last week he was going off, just rails. Will we see that again? I don't know how consistent he can be. I don't know if he's going to try that again. I don't know if that's his new strategy. I'm just going to use the rail and destroy you from far away, but I'm looking forward to it. Spart1e versus GaRpY is going to be a great opening game.
I just think that Spart1e has this ability to sort of turn up when he has the chance to. GaRpY is consistent and Spart1e is a little bit more, I think, somewhat of a seesaw effect, I guess, especially in Quake Champions, that you're always expecting him to be a heavy hitter in a tournament. But I definitely think you could say that he kind of started in Pro League a little bit hit and miss, and that started to change here and there as the course of things going on. But GaRpY's been a bit more consistently falling short, and that's what I'm a bit worried about. This week, if anything, is going to be just permanently experience, right? Last minute practice, somewhat of an online boot camp, as you will, with the players that you're going to be going up against in Luca, and then someone like GaRpY, is going to have to worry about those relegation matches too and be in better shape than ever. But that is only match number 1. Match number 2, Cooler versus Hron. That's going to be a bit of a doozy, I think. Next, RaZe versus Base. Chance to be quite close, I think, and that's going to be, I think, a bit of a momentum game as we go into next week. RaZe's looking for a 3-0 there, absolutely. And then finally, the big match. The big match it always seems to be. The champ, Kilson, versus the young blood, the hungry Wenger. And that's going to be one fantastic way to end the European and CIS portion for you.
Absolutely. I think Wenger's going to try and get some confidence going into Luca and try and knock out Kilson. I think they've faced each other twice before, and they're 1-1, so they split those games. So this is going to be a big one to see who can kind of come out on top before we hit up LAN.
It's a matter of shape, isn't it? And I think that's a word that we're going to be using quite a lot throughout the course of the night, is just these players have been playing for now 10 weeks. And they've been obviously scrimming in between those weeks too. Like, the matches they're playing against each other are not just the matches that we see on the weekly broadcast. Watch so many of these players, if not all of them, stream Quake. So, if you want to get that sort of learning experience and figure out the kinks at a high level, then you actually have the chance to tune into a fair amount of their practice sessions. That said, not everyone will stream their practice sessions because they will want to keep, I think some cards a bit close to their sleeve, especially as we are starting to dawn onto LAN. But that's the talking point of the day, isn't it? LAN is next week. LAN is a different beast. And we've had a lot of time to watch these players and now, really have some calculated decisions of who do we like the look of the most? What players do we think will stand the best chance?
Definitely. This last week, I think, is going to be, tying up loose ends, maybe coming up with some strategies that you might want to use going into the LAN, maybe try out some things right before the big LAN. But again, my eyes, GeNick. 21-year-old player. Crushed the scene coming up. I'm looking forward to his relegation matches on LAN. But, again, we got to get through this day first. But this is all building up to it, man. LAN, it feels like it's been forever. QuakeCon was just a couple months ago, but it feels like it's been forever. Every week, tension's rising. I'm excited.
But we were saying that, actually, as we all arrived here, it's kind of strange how we're already into week 10. I feel like we only started the Quake Pro League like a week ago, and here we are, 10 weeks in. Yeah. It's definitely been a bit of an experience, But I suppose It's because we had been so long this year without any sort of like official competitive Quake activity that when Pro League began, it was just like fast and furious, right? It was week after week after week, and you know, it's been a long time coming for the players too. But I really think the constant weekly experience has spelled great things for, I think, the practice of the players, specifically in the Americas too. I think the level of play from the American players at QuakeCon versus now, it looks kind of night and day to me, but we can talk about that in droves as we go on later on. But now we have our first match to get through. It's Spart1e, and it's going to be GaRpY, and it's just very hard to predict this kind of result because, you know, Spart1e's been recently looking a little bit better than GaRpY. I know GaRpY defeated him in week number 1. We had that legendary map number 3, which was about 34 frags to, I think, 1 on Spart1e's side. But when that happened, it was a bit of an early wake-up call, I think. And from then on, it's been a bit of the Spart1e show.
Yeah, absolutely brutal here. These Rockets. I mean, I don't want to get into predictions quite yet, but I got a good feeling about Spart1e. Like I said, I mean, I know you feel like he's a bit of a wild card. GaRpY's a little bit more consistent, but like you said, he's kind of been coming up short. He needs that extra little something today to try and take this series.
But we're moments away from actually finding it out. GaRpY is going to be the opponent for the day, and GaRpY is a player that, if you're a betting man, you'll always kind of consider in a tournament setting, hey, let's not count this guy out at all. But 10 weeks later, we now have, I think, a lot of information to think. You know, we've seen this one clip in his collection reels, I think, almost every single time. But that was from week number 1. We've had now 9 weeks since then. So GaRpY's been very, very hit and miss. And as one of the players that is looking at, you know, that sort of relegation situation, this week is pure experience. And it's, I need to get back on my, you know, my true self, the way I know I can play Arena FPS at the highest level. Again, that's another week 1 clip. And yeah, it's sick, but a lot has changed.
The past is the past. Today is the present, and you have to bring everything you have to try and finish out every one of these games. Finish strong, I believe. But I know I'm going to go with Spart1e.
For sure. But I think, you know, we'll go back a bit more into predictions in a sec. I think we have got the vetoes and the maps and the picks and bans and all the stuff that you're familiar with by now. But I mean, GaRpY, he's the one I'm eyeing up, and it's always nice to see him do well, but it's unfortunate to see him fall short. Hopefully it doesn't happen today. You can see we're starting off with Blood Run, so a nice slow burner, I think, to kickstart, especially with those champion picks, Ison and Galena. Ruins of Sarnath is going to be next, nice and old school with the Visor and the Ranger. And then, I think just completely on the other end of that seesaw, it's going to be Strog and Pika versus a Clutch on Molten Falls. So, I think we're going to have a nice different variety of, if anything, straight up pace.
That one's going to be extremely interesting. But like you said, the slow burn to start, Galena, Ison on Blood Run. I feel like, I don't know, man. Galena's very strong, Ison is as well. I just feel like Spart1e might have that moment where he's like, I'm going to grab the rail and absolutely hit everything.
But also, we've seen Spart1e's Galena in particular give GaRpY trouble. It was a few weeks ago they fought on Molten Falls, and it was the Galena that GaRpY just couldn't deal with that momentum, right? It was fundamentally a factor of just not really taking out the totems enough. I know that's like skin deep level of talking about a champion matchup, but even in the QPL we see certain maps where I think players must just deem it maybe not important enough to go for some of those totems and take them out of the fray. But then, you know, you'll give up a frag here and a frag there. You know, 5 minutes later, there's a full setup. Galena pretty much has a mega whenever she wants, and GaRpY was just getting bullied around all map in the same matchup. So hopefully he's going into Blood Run with a little bit more, I suppose, preparation. I really think he wasn't really showing enough respect to that when he fought Spart1e in a very similar matchup. But all we can really do in week number 10 is just sit there and think, well, will things be different? We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, the totems, you have to deal with them, right? Because even if you do a ton of damage in a fight, they'll just go restack immediately. So if he doesn't take care of those totems, I think it could be a nightmare on Blood Run, but we're going to find out shortly. I don't know. Is it time for predictions yet? I always jump the gun, but that's what I do. Are we going to do it?
Well, I think we've already gathered that your prediction is Spart1e, but in terms of map, how do you think? Do you think 2-1 or 3-0?
That last Molten game is going to be very interesting, so I'm actually going to go 2-1 and say GaRpY might actually take that last one.
No, I'm always going to bet on the British Bulldog, like the biased and corrupt British commentator I am. But I do think as well, I just don't see either of these players 3-0ing each other. They are very, very evenly split. I just feel like Spart1e recently has had the edge, but as you can clearly see, it's going to be map number 1, week number 10 of Quake Pro League, Spart1e and GaRpY. We'll see who's going to take this one through. The turret already deleted, It's been a little bit of a back and forth here. Spart1e finally gets control of that rail. Going to make a big difference as we go into our next rotated items. Opts to double back and doesn't want to stick around with the tri-bolt for too long. But yeah, trying to keep GaRpY away. Brave stuff for GaRpY and puts lots of faith in his rail. If he missed a single one of those rails, he would have died. And, I mean, great shot. Fantastic way to start the map.
I have no idea what Spart1e was thinking there. He's going to be able to steal the heavy with the rail out there. He's going to hit one, but again, the rail from GaRpY is superior. That first fight over at the Mega, I felt like he forced it. He only had Tri-Bolt and some LG. GaRpY with some great rails. 2-0 now. Going to go on a bit of a tear here. He's going to find him. He needs to be very careful with these rockets. Throws down the turret for a little bit of insurance here, forcing him back up the trampoline. And Mega's going to be up so he could back off to that and then make his play onto heavy.
I mean, you would assume that after how this start went, that maybe Spart1e's now going to show a little bit more respect to GaRpY. I think he was kind of almost underestimating that rail of GaRpY at the very beginning here. Because both of those fights, he was sticking around just, you know, a split second too long, right? Enough for one extra rail to come through, hit its mark, and took Spart1e out way faster than I think he was comfortable with. 2-0, but only a minute and a half through. We're about to have the Mega. There's a really chunky delay, actually, in between Mega and heavy. Oh, no rockets. That might be a bit interesting for GaRpY. Get in and out. Get some ammo as well while you're there, mate. Here we go.
And actually, Spart1e dropped down for a little bit of a rail here. So heavy should be free. Maybe a rail on the jump over, but no, Spart1e's nowhere to be found. He's instead going to wait over by LG and throws down another totem to try to get that economy going. Little rocket damage there from GaRpY. But yeah, as you said earlier, I think the fights in the beginning were Spart1e maybe trying to test GaRpY, see how on point he is with his aim, and now that he's learned that, he's playing a lot more defensive, a lot more passive, not giving up those rail angles.
I do like Spart1e's totem placement actually though, obviously opting to put the totems in the power-up room. If GaRpY has this crazy level of control, I think while he's going towards Mega and Heavy, it's unlikely and he has even looked at the totems, look. It's unlikely he's going to spend too much time in that room, so it's almost like an opportunity for Spart1e. Even if he's technically out of control, there is that room he could fall back on to get health when necessary. He is going to go in, but the rockets, too good, and we never really, all day haven't really spoken about GaRpY's rockets, but he's pretty famous for it. That's a lot of damage dealt through there, Spart1e, and he's going to have to give up the Mega. Pretty significantly behind to start this map off, 40.
Yeah, not looking good. It is really early, but Wally popping off pretty hard there for GaRpY. 3-0, pretty solid. What's not solid, Spart1e's rail, not looking that good. There goes down the Wally again. The rocket jump comes in for the heavy, and GaRpY will take another cycle of items here, trying to sniff out exactly where Spart1e is hiding.
Yeah, for me, it's one of those tragic examples of Spart1e's accuracy. Kind of hasn't really been all that in this map so far, but GaRpY is ascended. You know, I feel like he's hitting pretty much every shot he's looking for, and that only ever spells bad news when you go into a fight. It's how things started, and it's how things are continuing to snowball. A little bit of range damage, but GaRpY getting caught with not necessarily the right weapon for the job, but thankfully doesn't take too much damage. And here comes that heavy. The gap in between them is still significant. Minimal damage on the flip side. He's going to drop the turret now, just as, if anything, causing somewhat of an obstacle. Nice little rail shot. Needs to hit another one. His rails so far, they've been really impressive, and Spart1e just kind of stuck out in no man's land. He's going to give up another frag, and what a map so far this has been for GaRpY. He needs this kind of map. He needs to be in this level of shape, especially as we go into next week.
Absolutely. There's testing someone's aim, and then there's just begging to die, and it looks like Spart1e might be doing a little bit of the latter here as GaRpY up 4-0, has control on the tri-bolt area. He's going to be able to rocket jump up at the rail from Spart1e, defensively keeping him at bay. He's going to drop straight down with another rail, and maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe Spart1e is trusting in that rail, and he earned himself the heavy on that one with that frag.
Yeah, the beginning of the end was the moment the rail knocked him away from heavy. You know, the item's not going to get collected. He knows he's done more than enough damage. GaRpY's stuck in a really unfavorable position. The fight's going to come through, and once more gets good timing on the Mega, picks it up, and he's going to take out GaRpY for a second time. This could be the start of a comeback. You know, he went in for the kill at the perfect time. We're now going to have to see how GaRpY plays from behind. Importantly for Galena, those totems are now fully stacked up. All three of them here in the playing field. And not a long amount of time, actually, before the next one becomes available. You notice the totem that's sitting in power-up room, it's pretty much been there since the very beginning of the map. GaRpY hasn't been scouting it out. And we have seen in the past GaRpY facing some difficulty with, I think, denying that level of just totem control. You know, Spart1e's able to kind of bully him quite happily as the weeks have gone through. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, 40.
There's one that he takes out, and that's going to help because you don't want a little something on fire. As GaRpY will drop down into Spart1e's LG. Switching to rail into rockets, the nails will do so much damage, but Spart1e bails himself out. Again, you saw how confident he was. He swapped to rail mid-fight for no reason. Totem goes down. He's going to have the overstack and the heavy again. 5 seconds to the Mega Spart1e, looking very, very promising here to take this to 4-4.
Loving the totem placement from Spart1e so far as well. He's pretty much not putting them right next to each other, so by the time GaRpY's able to take one out, it's only one at a time. By that point, Spart1e has another totem locked and loaded, so he's pretty much able to stop the bleeding immediately, and then if he even wins the fight, it continues to be evenly split. You know, you're going to see right now, even if he takes out a totem, which he kind of needs to prevent this overstack from Spart1e, but looks like once more GaRpY is ignoring the fact that there's a totem behind. He's going to finally take one out, but by then, the damage is done. He's overstacked before the Mega has even spawned. The juggling of these totems is looking so good for Spart1e right now.
He's doing a great job. I'm surprised GaRpY doesn't take that extra second to check the back hall there in the nail room to try and see if anything's there. He's got to know something's up, but nevertheless, Spart1e grabbing the Mega, making his way over to the Rockets. Still down by 1 with just under 4 minutes remaining.
Spart1e's in a comfortable level of control, and with the totem, it's pretty much 2 Megas and a heavy, right? That's a really scary opponent to try and face off against, especially when these fights are happening, and Spart1e is consistently outstacking GaRpY in this situation. You know, GaRpY, he's trying to set up shop in that corridor, right? He's got the turret down. If a fight breaks out, at least he kind of has that 2 versus 1 odds. He knows there's no totem to fall back on right there as well, and he has got the benefit of 1 frag difference, so not the end of the world that he's able to try and fortify locations he knows that Spart1e hasn't got control over. It's just not a very big part of the map at all.
Oh, I can absolutely respect the play, trying to bait him into the elbow there. There's a Rockets raining down from above. Not going to do a lot. Spart1e's still going to claim the Mega and grab a 50 on his way out. But again, GaRpY is going to play super passive. I think this is kind of the game plan that he's decided to stick to for the last 3 minutes. The elbow is mine. Wally's in here. If you want to kill me, you're going to have to come get me.
Trying to get some of that bonus damage. The entry damage with the rockets, pretty good. Looks to get another one. Spart1e topping himself up quite happily. A significant amount of time, though, before Mega spawns. Definitely too much time, maybe, for Spart1e to be comfortable with. This fight might make or break it. Spart1e's got no armor. He has to be very, very careful here. The light armor spawned, but it's getting zoned out there from GaRpY, who does hit a very, very important rail indeed. Even now, he's railable. Spart1e's got to be really careful.
That play was just so perfect. And GaRpY waited in the elbow until he saw the opening. He's like, you're not going to grab the armor? I'm going to grab the armor. Hit some great rockets, did a lot of damage. And now again, Spart1e on the back foot, not looking so hot. And there goes another heavy. As we're getting closer and closer to 2 minutes, GaRpY might push in on this.
I actually absolutely love the angle GaRpY chose to hit too. Like, it's very obvious that Spart1e's probably going to try and hit a rail angle there. So if we just hug the side of the wall, we can deny that entirely, go around the corner, get some free damage. That's just, you know, I guess at this level of play, it is that kind of sixth sense where you have every base covered. Not everyone would think to do that. Ooh.
Trouble there from Spart1e, but time is ticking. He's still down by 1. Heavy's going to be up first. He's going to drop down. Wait on this Mega.
Oh, that one's so important.
Shots there.
Oh, you really need to hit that rail, though, to be more comfortable in this fight. GaRpY, he's going to pepper down the rockets. They beat it to the punch, and because of the Mega timing, GaRpY's timing is rewarded with the frag, and all the work that's been done. Hang on a minute. Misses the rail. Should be able to go in for the kill.
Wow.
Can't reach the health bubbles. That was such an important refrag. It's not even funny. We're going in now. The 1 minute warning is looming. Spart1e needs to get one more frag to tie things up. Very, very close indeed to start off map number 140.
All the pressure's on. He's got to grab this heavy and get to going. He's got a little over a minute, but it's very, very easy to kind of play super defensive here.
Oh my god, this is
down goes the Wally and up goes GaRpY on the trampoline. He's going to totem that telly just for a little bit of information in case GaRpY tries to escape that way, and there we have the 1 minute warning. All the pressure on Spart1e, and he's going to finally grab some rockets and try and make this happen. Rails come in, nothing lands. A little bit of a fake rocket jump there from Spart1e. I like that. Is he going to be able to catch him out off of it, though? And GaRpY is playing super passive in the nail room here, just waiting.
I'm a big fan of this double angle, I have to say, especially as we go into the 1 minute timer. GaRpY's the one that has got the upper hand. Even going for that heavy, you know, now he's got 30 seconds left, has no real reason to overly push in and take that heavy. You know, the risk of getting fragged there and caught off guard, especially when right now he's only got a default stack, and the totems are in play, gives his position away though, thanks to one of the totems being taken out, but position being given away when there's 20 seconds left on the clock, not the kind of thing GaRpY's going to be too scared about.
Jump.
Yeah, rocket jump, he's full speed ahead, just behind him. GaRpY running away, by all accounts, should be able to take this. And now he has the runaway on the jump pad. I don't think Spart1e's going to be able to catch him. And that was a far more eventful blood run than you're used to seeing.
That last sound of the jump pad was Spart1e's heart breaking there. 5-4, GaRpY takes it, but I think you were right. A little bit faster pace than where we're used to. But again, GaRpY wasn't afraid to kind of slow things down when he needed to and say, all right, everybody calm down. I need this map under my belt. I need this one first, and let's go into the next map with a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, too, it really was, like, I think the tide was turned the moment that one fight happened kind of about 3/4 of the way through.
At the Mega, the all-in?
For sure, where GaRpY, even though the comeback was being made by Spart1e, I think GaRpY kind of maintained his cool and realized, well, if I still have the frag lead, I'm still the one winning this. So if I just sit right here, you know, in that corridor, that if the turret's there that can give him a bit of information, plus when a fight breaks out, there's a bit of opening damage at the same time. The moment GaRpY decided to finally go for heavy, like that perfect moment, the start of the comeback was the imperfect moment where Spart1e was able to knock him down. Yeah, it was a really, really good frag, but it kind of looked like Spart1e was on the verge of taking this back, and GaRpY was really struggling to get around those totems. Maybe that was going to be the beginning of disaster, but yeah, I mean, ultimately it just comes down to composure, doesn't it? And well done to GaRpY for keeping it through till the end.
Yeah, I mean, GaRpY's rail was actually really impressive there. He hit a lot of shots. You get a feeling that Spart1e didn't really respect it as much as he should have, kind of playing around that 50 shard a little bit earlier and giving up some early frags to GaRpY's rail. But again, super close, and I'm excited to go into the next one.
It was a very lukewarm start for Spart1e, wasn't it? And I think that's kind of where it came from, is that the moment those first two fights broke out, where GaRpY was just hitting the right shots, he had the perfect weapon out, and almost kind of like Spart1e was just overstaying his welcome too much. You know, situations where either I shouldn't have gone in for this in the first place, or it's going a bit pear-shaped. If he hits a rail here, he's going to kill me. I almost feel like Spart1e just didn't respect the accuracy from GaRpY, especially when it came to those early rails. And then, you know, a few minutes in, when it's right, well, maybe I need to kind of approach these fights a little bit differently. GaRpY already had a ton of control, but over and done, going into the next map.
Yeah, a lot of the times when you're dueling, you're kind of like, you know what, I don't think you're going to hit another rail, and you take that gamble, and then after they do it for the second or third frag, you have to kind of give up and be like, okay, I get it, you're going to hit your rails, I need to respect it. I feel like Spart1e took a little bit longer to do that than most.
For sure, but I guess silver linings and all that, it's only map number 1. There's still plenty of time to come back here. It should be Ruins of Sarnath next, I believe, which is going to be... Yep. I mean, how we think that one's going to go. I mean, if GaRpY's able to maintain the accuracy he was hitting, then you're going to have to favour him. Anyone that's hitting more rails than the other one on Ruins of Sarnath, I think automatically kind of goes in with a little bit of an advantage, because it's such an important weapon. But halfway through that map, you know, Spart1e was able to wake up just a little bit. Is it going to be enough on map number 2? Remains to be seen. It looks like GaRpY's still hitting all of his rails, isn't he?
Right off the bat, he's like, you show your face, I'm going to rail it. GaRpY again with another rail right before the mega pickup. The Spart1e trying to chip with machine gun, trying to get him off his back. A little bit more of a classic matchup here as we got Ranger on Visor. Heavy goes to GaRpY, and that's got a little bit of a delay, so he can potentially fight for the Mega first if he wishes. I would like to see him get some rockets, but he's going to wait, try and figure out exactly where Spart1e is before he makes a move.
I feel like it's 2017 all over again. GaRpY hitting another rail, slightly misses the next one, and Spart1e actually with no armor.
Oh, tickle.
Horrible time to get caught by a rail. There's no armor in sight. You've just collected the light as well, and it's the only thing you can really gather. That's feels bad, man. Less than 1 minute in, and it's going to be 1-0 to GaRpY, who maintains some control too. We'll see if the Mega's at least going to be able to get collected by Spart1e, or whether GaRpY's going to maintain full of it. Now, he's sitting around and he's waiting.
I think he's trying to bait it out. He's like, GaRpY, where are you? But a little bit timid on that pickup, but now the split between the items is absolutely huge. GaRpY finally getting in on a rocket launcher, a minute and 10 in. Now, more ways to try and frag Spart1e here. Spart1e trying to fight from below with the tri-vault, looks like. GaRpY raining down rockets, not really landing anything. A little bit of shaft coming out from Spart1e, and GaRpY's trying to do everything in his power to make sure he doesn't get away with that heavy, and the frag is his 2-0 to GaRpY.
And the benefit of Ranger not having to just jump into absolute death, using the Dire Orb to just reposition. GaRpY, thanks to the split in items, is going to maintain full control. He's going to win the LG fight to boot. 3-0, another fantastic start. And GaRpY, I mean, the momentum's coming from just hitting these fantastic shots right at the beginning, and Spart1e just getting bullied away. And I almost feel like the fact that he split the two items and then lost the fight in a heavy, I kind of think he spelled himself a bit of disaster here.
Yeah, and the timing from GaRpY was huge on that mega pickup during the fight too, to not only deny but also stay alive and get that frag, and he's looking very, very strong right now as he doubles back for the mega. And again, this could be another potential opportunity to catch him out over by that 50 shard. Spart1e just waiting, trying to find an angle. Ooh, look at that shoulder peek there. GaRpY's going to hit one as Spart1e keeps tempting fate here, hits one of his own. Don't go up the jump.
But he's
Don't
gonna
do
be
it.
mad.
Don't do
Surely
it.
he's gonna be a madman if he goes
Oh
for
my
it.
god! Right in the face. He's like, here, catch this. GaRpY just looking so strong right now. 4-0, 230 in.
But once more, the piercing sight, it's going to be one of those, I think, just somewhat of a trump card that just decides, right, well, if I'm super behind and I need to try and undo some of this stack and limit the control he's got, it has to come from those long-range rails. Thankfully, piercing sight is going to be a factor. A lot of the fights keep going this way, though. GaRpY's timing is immaculate, and Spart1e sticking around a little bit too long. GaRpY's just bullying his way into wherever he wants to be. Giving up 5 frags this early, though, that's a little bit worrisome, 40. There's a lot of potential for this to go from bad to worse.
Oh no, the jump down
as well. Here we go. GaRpY with even more control thanks to the heavy pickup. Split between Mega.
Oh my god, what a rocket. And that is quite the gift to get coming out of the telly.
Oh, the rail is so good as well. This just looks like it's going to maintain being GaRpY's set so far as we go on. I feel like he's almost rarely missing rails. I've seen him miss like 2 or 3.
Good prediction rocket there to get the information to keep him way off heavy. How many cycles has GaRpY taken?
I actually think he's maintained a full cycle pretty much since this. The only item that Spart1e's really been able to pick up is that first Mega. But that first Mega creating a delay is kind of what's allowed this to go this way. And he has been forced away thanks to a really good tri-bolt. So the Mega gets collected. Oh, that missed rail. That could spell disaster. Spart1e has to get out of there, and he is going to do just that. Finally, being able to get in and out with a major item. Thank you very much, Tri-Bolt, for throwing GaRpY off his flow.
Here's the rail battle. Here's the shimmy. Here's the shimmy. Who's going to actually hit a shot? GaRpY switches to rockets, get a little bit of damage, but... oh, never mind. That was huge. Right to the face. A little bit of LG on the way down. He's going to grab the heavy. Spart1e not looking too healthy. Needs to be very careful here.
But that is going to be piercing sight at the same time. GaRpY's going to know it's just a small armor. However, yeah, that missed rail. No, Spart1e, you needed to hit it. He gave his position away, but then couldn't finish his plate. And before we can even talk about the chance that Spart1e had to come back, another Mega is going to go away from him. And GaRpY wasting no time. Just double back, get the control back, and it's like we never left off.
There's still time. All right, we're going to hit the midway mark here. He's down by 7. There's still time. It doesn't look good, but my question is, did I curse him? Did I talk about his rail too much? Did I do this to him? Because this is not looking good right now. There's one.
You did talk about the rail a lot at the start. I'd be inclined to say, 40, this is all your fault.
I still believe. Vision's pop now. He's looking for a way out. There's the orb to close the gap into the LG. Spart1e trying to hit something. He does hit one. Needs to hit a lot more than that. The Mega pickup comes out. There's another great rail. Surely he won't push around the corner with it. There it is, waiting for the angle. And oh, the rocket switch into rail by GaRpY. Wow. Fearless.
Calculated is what that was,
God.
and the double rail Spart1e. The moment he dedicated towards light armor, his fate was sealed. Nothing he could do when he stuck out in the open. And the LG, he knows that he's not going to have one. Thankfully, though, has pushed him into an LG himself. Spart1e keeping the rail, though, actually.
There it is.
Good shot.
Hunts him down, a little rail for the butt cheeks there. 9-1, still a ton of work to be had. He needs to get in on these items. I think he probably flip-flopped the timings in his head. Does have vision. He's going to pop it and get coordinates on GaRpY. Mega's still waiting all by its lonesome here. Looks like Spart1e might take a peek. He didn't see it.
I almost feel like his momentum was so fast, he didn't really have the time to sort of like double back and turn around and collect it. If he's going that fast, may as well collect the light armor and then, you know, speed back there.
We can't stop here. This is Mega Country. But he does grab it 9-1. Still 8 frags down, 4 minutes. It's going to be tough. He's going to need to go on a run here.
There's potential for it to happen. I just kind of fear that he's been consistently getting caught. Not only is the control there for GaRpY pretty much the whole time, but he's getting caught out in these fights really unfavorably. Kind of like right now and kind of like what we just saw. He's falling for these traps, and the opening damage is being done by GaRpY, but GaRpY opting to go for the heavy immediately. Very favorable spawn for Spart1e to be so close to him, and with the regular old machine gun. Just needs to pepper down a little bit of damage. He's going to get a Mega, but at this stage, GaRpY, if he wants to, he can really start to not necessarily take his foot off the gas, but play a little bit more defensively. He has a lot of frags to work with. Any more of these frags will be bonus. He is going to have to give up another one, though, as the rail is going to be perfect for Spart1e, looking to get in and out. And GaRpY saying, you know what, I'm out.
Oh no, you gotta hit those. Spart1e trying to get the frag back. Oh my god, the orb right in the face does a lot of damage, but he does get that frag. 6 left with 3 minutes. I mean, if he keeps catching them out, he could do it, but right now he needs to restack as quick as he can.
3 minutes to lay on the pain train. If GaRpY's playing hyper defensive, it might be easier said than done. The piercing sight's going to at least give him the vision. He's going to chase him down near heavy, hit a fantastic rail. Needs more, plenty where that came from, but I just think that GaRpY, you know, thankfully, I suppose some of his resources to get back are a little bit limited. At the very least, up there, he has to go really out of his way to at least get anything like a small armor. So it is going to waste time and give Spart1e kind of like an uncontested heavy. He's going to get an entry rail. Really good. Looks for a second. Misses the flick. And it's just time he can't afford to waste. He needs to make every frag count as fast as possible.
He needs to grab this Mega and get rockets. He's going to opt to rocket first, adding even more of a split between the items, about 16 seconds now. And like you said, it's all about catching GaRpY. 6 frags, 2 minutes. Items don't really matter as much anymore. You
very
need to
much
go on a hunt.
Yeah, it looked very much like before that piercing sight was popped that he had no idea where GaRpY was. And again, I'm just looking at wasted time. Yes, he just fragged GaRpY, but how long did it take? You know, he lost about 10, 15 seconds because he went left instead of right. These small, simple things. But look, if he has no information, he has no way of knowing where he is. Sometimes you have to dedicate, but any second wasted when you're less than 2 minutes to go with 5 frags is a lifetime.
Way too much pressure here as Spart1e just has to be perfect. Catch him out. He won't have the vision, so it's going to be up to the rail, but can he find the angles here as GaRpY should be playing safe. He's going to drop down with the LG, and it's going to be LG on LG. Switch to rocket right into the face as the orb can't save him. 6 to 10, a minute 20 left. 4 frags left, and Spart1e might be able to catch him out here. GaRpY is nowhere, like, he's gone. He's out of there. Just get me out of here. This is getting too crazy. The LG up the jump pad, and he pushes him off the map, and that's another one. A minute 10, 3 frags. This is well within the realm of possibilities for Spart1e.
And Spart1e's just been on the warpath. He has another piercing sight, and thanks to the Mega, he is nice and dangerous to take it. GaRpY spawning, but again, limited resources. That's one of the problems when you're spawning on a map like this. Everything is so separated, GaRpY. You gotta waste as much time as possible. He's gonna go up the jump pad. Spart1e has no choice but to take the chase. GaRpY, he knows he's probably gonna die here. The question is, how much time can we waste in the meantime? And I mean, that's a significant amount of time. Spart1e, a little bit delayed, maybe expecting it.
No!
Oh no!
No!
No, Spart1e! Oh my god.
Oh, first of all, that play from GaRpY to use the orb was amazing to get around the corner, and then, oh, the rail is fantastic. 30 seconds, 2 frags. I don't know about this. I think
here's
GaRpY's
what I think. Is that one moment, is that what lost it for him? Because he has no way of knowing yet. Finally has the information, but 20 seconds and counting.
Oh no, this is going to be a frag. This has to be. There's the rockets right there. 15 seconds, 1 frag. Can Spart1e find this and send it into overtime?
10 seconds to get it done. Is he near the spawn? I don't know. I think he's too far away. He's too far away!
Oh, I think he overthought it using rockets.
Oh, that's so tragic.
Oh,
that one
man.
moment. That one moment where he could have just, you know, looked just a little bit to the right. But I mean, well played from GaRpY. I think it was unfortunate that Spart1e just in the heat of the moment didn't take that glance to the right. But GaRpY, I mean, that was risky. If he got caught there was no escape.
I mean, I think what we learned from this is everyone should play with 140 FOV because there's no way you can miss stuff like that. No? Okay. Well, yeah, that play to waste time was fantastic, but again, the orb around the corner, you know that Spart1e was going in with the rail, and GaRpY just barely got around the corner, and I think he burned another 15, 20 seconds off that play and then hiding in the cave. That was so close, man. My heart breaks for Spart1e.
Oh, absolutely, because that kind of comeback that's being made, there's no way that GaRpY didn't have, I think, that plan of, look, I'm going to concede a lot of frags here. This is Ruins. The sort of, fundamentally, I'm against someone that is like fully stacked up and they have every weapon they could ever want. If I get caught on spawn, if I have to fight, I have to take the fight with whatever weapon I'm closest to. And on this map, it's kind of easier said than done because there's just so many different ways you have to go to get every single weapon, especially when you've just spawned. So GaRpY's plan was, look, I'm going to play this runaway game, and while I'm conceding frags, as long as I make sure that the gap between each frag that I give up is significant, I will win the long game. And it really was that final moment near heavy where, you know, GaRpY went all in and said, there's a small potential here that Spart1e is just going to completely overlook this because he knows that time is not on his side and he just has to dedicate.
Through the telly, man. That
sexiest rocket of the day so far.
So good. But you're absolutely right. I mean, if you have to concede items, the least you can do is try and burn the clock as best you can, and GaRpY just put on a bit of a masterclass with that. But I can't help but feel like just look a little bit to the right might be a meme. Spart1e was so close bringing this back. He had a great run, but again, GaRpY's rail was really impressive for me, especially off the start, just hitting everything.
He was off the starting line at max top speed. You know, it didn't take him any time at all, really, to kind of reach that flow. But it's the same thing on Blood Run. You know, GaRpY, he's been in very, very impressive form since these maps began, and I think that has had a very, very long-term effect. Because, look at the comeback that's been made. At this point, it was 2-10. That is one hell of a deficit to face, and somehow Spart1e was able to miraculously bring it back. I've got to give him props until the end of days that he made it as close as he did, being as far behind as he was, but GaRpY, I just feel like he's playing inches better today, and it is going to be a 2-0 for GaRpY right now. That said, the chance for the bonus 3-0, I mean, everyone wants that.
Oh, no.
No, but GaRpY, he like stuck himself in the side of that corner as well, like trying to minimize his model. Everyone plays with the things turned on, don't they?
Yeah.
The outlines and stuff like that, but yeah, GaRpY, so I'm going to give him nothing to work with. Not a pixel of color.
It hurts, but it worked. It was very well done, and hats off to GaRpY for the 2-0, but we still got Molten. I mean, maybe a little bit of Spart1e. Maybe he can put those last final pieces together to try and get a map.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm kind of just eyeing up the champion pick. The Strog and the Clutch. I think that's going to be, if anything, quite an explosive map. It's just nice to see two champions that we don't really get to see go head-to-head very often. But at this point, GaRpY, he can rest easy knowing that he's got the win. However, the bonus third map always helps, but is this the point where, I mean, this is the final week, right? Hopefully Spart1e doesn't lay off the steam, and I really hope that GaRpY is able to maintain his level of dominance, because a 3-0 going into Luca would just be a confidence boost, if anything.
Absolutely. I think GaRpY's got the nitrous loaded here as he's waiting patiently for his chance at a rail there. Spart1e backs off, showing a little bit of respect and a little bit of fear, because Clutch with a shield up is a little bit terrifying.
And he has all of the pieces of the puzzle to make it happen. He's got LG, Rocket, Rail, plenty of stack too. And he just needs to get one trap sprung. That's why Spart1e's looking for it. He's like, do I want to jump down there yet? Probably not. But now the fight's going to break out, and the shield wall. GaRpY might be going all into this, but if anything, yeah, we want to get in and out. Take the heavy, and because of the divide, maybe Mega. Doesn't look so impossible right now, but GaRpY being nice and patient here. Prioritizing the cooldown, I actually quite like that choice.
Yeah, there's nothing scarier than Clutch with a shield up. He could drop down and grab that. I think he's waiting for a trap here, just waiting for Spart1e to show up again. Heavy's not going to be up for 10 seconds, but GaRpY wants to get the best of him here. As Spart1e waiting on that T-Con next to the shotgun. Missed rails from both players here. Shield is back up for GaRpY, and the peeker comes out. There's a little bit of damage here, just being a pest right now as GaRpY's like, please hold still. Picks it out of the sky, but now he's going to have to concede the heavy.
I feel like there was just enough damage done from the peeker that GaRpY was forced to not really fight. The shield all gets popped. Don't know if that's going to be enough to quite take the win. Gets the Mega and hits two. Perfect rockets. Something GaRpY's famous for.
That dodge into the Mega just broke Spart1e's back. He put out so much damage, and just like that, you get a stack back, and you're like, I can't believe that just happened. But GaRpY with a masterful strafe into the Mega, 1-0, about 2 minutes in here. And I think Spart1e has what it takes. He just needs to play a little bit patient. He has the right idea. It's just unfortunate positioning on that Mega fight.
I was worried about GaRpY in that fight to start with too. The fact that he was taking so long in between his rocket shots, but clearly he was just trying to make sure they were placed as well as they could be. It was the fact they were two perfect rockets that kind of saved him in that fight. The obvious elephant in the room being the fact that he timed Mega really well, and that is what kept him alive. But had he not done that much damage, I did fear for it if he managed to get hit by all that LG, especially with Clutch. That massive chunky hitbox, easiest champion in the game to hit just by size alone. But the shield wall's back. GaRpY, nice elements of control. Another lead. May only be one frag, but it's definitely enough for him to establish, I think, just a level of dominance. He's going to spring that trap on heavy. And that defensive rocket's going to push him away. Spart1e collects heavy.
Good prediction there. Kind of firing up the rocket. There's the float with the LG as GaRpY gets caught out in the rail run. There's a follow rail. 6 HP. No! The rockets are absolutely fantastic. GaRpY did it again. Hit everything he needed to stay alive and get that frag. Wow.
I'm wondering, did Spart1e run out of LG ammo there or something? He was doing such an amazing job of just peppering damage, but he goes to the rail at the last second. And again, that downtime in between rail shots, yeah, he hit the shot, but it was enough time for GaRpY to set the rockets in motion.
Incredible, man. Incredible. And Spart1e's got to be so frustrated. He knows he's putting out incredible amounts of damage, but he just can't get the frag. And GaRpY's so good at just playing patient, almost silent. He might be a bit of a Prius, in fact, as he's waiting again in the rail run for the trap. There's the rocket into the shield again. Lots of damage coming out this time from Spart1e. Again, can he finish it, though?
Can't detour for those small health bubbles. It will take too long to double back. Don't want to give yourself a rail angle either. Mega's going to get taken. GaRpY knows it's been taken, so he's going to have that audio knowledge. Timing it at the very least. Ooh, what a rail! Straight through the teleporter, and Spart1e. I mean, you said the word frustrated. I feel like surely he's got to be frustrated at the moment. It feels like, I can't fight this guy. He's just hitting every shot.
Why won't you die? More rockets again to the face of Spart1e as he has to back out. He tries to follow up with a little bit of damage on his own, but he can't. 250s for GaRpY and the Mega, and again, you have a stacked clutch to work against. All of that work just gone.
He's going to get his hands on a Mega out of rockets, but it doesn't matter because he did entry damage with a rocket to boot. Plenty of LG as well. And there's some ammo as a nice little bonus reward, 3-0. GaRpY has he's just been positioning himself for these fights so well. And I feel like it's very rarely that Spart1e's the one laying the trap on GaRpY. GaRpY getting that first frag, getting a nice amount of stack, and taking the items when he wants to, kind of gives GaRpY the luxury of saying, I'm going to spring a trap, and you're the one that has to run into it.
Up the jump out with LG again, trying to chase through these doorways, and he's just going to eat so much rocket damage. And I don't know what Spart1e was trying to do there with GaRpY. The defensive rockets on point, and another frag for him. 4-0 as we're heading into the midway point of this final map.
You have to be very careful conceding frags like that. That kind of seemed like Spart1e. After the first 2 rockets connected, that was a sign. Get out. Do not engage. But I feel like Spart1e's just, oh yeah, but if I'm able to claw this fight back, then perhaps I'm able to, 5-minute warning, right? Then I've got less work to do.
He's like, yeah, but if I hit him, all I got to do is hit him. I got it. Put me in, coach. I got this. But 4 frags down, it's not impossible, but it's definitely becoming more and more improbable here as GaRpY's going to play super defensive again. The timing very tight on the Mega.
He didn't even look at it. He was in and out. He knew what was going to happen, but we're looking at that 5-minute warning. We are seeing a very distinct change in the way GaRpY's approaching this. The shield wall to boot, goes in for the mid-air, doesn't hit its mark, but it doesn't matter. He's done plenty of damage, has the luxury of escaping thanks to the air dodge, and there's more time wasted. He's going to try and get a heavy 2. Spart1e just too late to the party. Thankfully, that rail's going to miss, because if he got hit by that rail, GaRpY absolutely would have gone in for the kill. But this runaway game is now in full effect. GaRpY can play as defensive as he wants. He has plenty of stack. He's got the timing and control on both of these items, and he's making sure whenever a fight does happen, man's got the shield wall. He doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, he's got all his bases covered, and this is looking more and more dire for Spart1e as he jumps in, goes with an all-in, and off the map you go. 5-0 for GaRpY now, as he might be in cruise control right now.
A level of potential tiltedness. Spart1e popped and even before that, he popped the Pika right before he got ring out, so now he's actually going into a fresh spawn with no cooldown as well.
You think maybe spamming spacebar or something?
Maybe. You know when you get a little bit frustrated and you just press your keys, right?
I've never done that. What are you talking about? 7-0 as he rides the lightning, and this is looking absolutely brutal. There it is. He does have a rail. Oh, he had an opportunity out of all of that, but again, misses the up-close rail. 8-0. Rough.
When Clutch has control and the movement, and he's hitting all of his shots, he just feels like the scariest champion in the game. Even down to that, where Spy's like, mate, can you at least just let me through the teleporter? Can you just give me that, please?
Do you mind, please?
I would like to play this video game that I purchased.
I think GaRpY's playing the game of, I don't want to give up a frag now.
Undefeated all day. I mean, what a day for GaRpY. If there's one week that happens where, look, you just kind of need to just have a good result. You need to go into Luca thinking, look, I may be one of the players that everyone's a little bit concerned about, but at least the week before Luca, I hit all my shots. You know, I had dominant maps, I hit most of my shots, I took the fights really well.
He was trying to propel himself forward to get the frag off the spawn, see what happened there. He just didn't have the stack. I don't think he read it right. That's unfortunate, but he's going to grab the Mega, and he's down to 0 frags again. This might be a shutout.
We saw this in week number... This is literally full circle to me. This feels like a full circle thing, where the final map was Molten Falls. It was GaRpY just dominating Spart1e in pretty much every way. But by this point, GaRpY had about 20 frags, not 10. But
maybe he's going easy this time.
How fitting.
There's still 2 minutes, though.
Hey, a wise man once said there's still time.
10-0 for the British Bulldog here. As he's made quite the statement, and again, like you said earlier, going into Luca, this is exactly the kind of result you'd want.
Springing the trap, Spart1e tries to chase, and he's going to fall right into the belly of the beast. Clutch with a shield and plenty of rockets. Is there a timeline in Quake Champions where shielded Clutch with a rocket launcher in close range has never been the most scary thing to fight up close?
I can't even think of it. No, that's got to be one of the most terrifying things ever. Is GaRpY again holding that angle but not being patient enough? I want to see him hit that because it's a very precise shot.
Oh, again.
No. Oh no. Okay, you can count that. I guess Spart1e, the victory for him was like, I finally got him down. But again, scoreboard won't reflect that. As GaRpY 11-0 and time is ticking, and again, this might be a shutout. Just saying.
But these kind of traps, like, it's no wonder GaRpY's able to spring them successfully. Spart1e has no time. He has to literally sprint around this map with as much stack as he can get his hands on, and then try and get anything he can.
Yeah.
Now GaRpY has this luxury of just saying, well, it's the champion pick, it's the matchup. I'm clutch, I've got a shield wall, I'm close range with the rocket. You can't survive this situation.
Oh, there comes the peeker. And GaRpY deals with it well here. He's going to hit the LG, another rail up the jump pad. That was very close.
He played that fight really well, though. Like, he hit plenty of shots. Had the shield wall not been a factor, then I think that would have been a dead GaRpY, hence, you know, but GaRpY definitely took the fight because he knew he had damage reduction. But doesn't matter. Oh, the airborne and more, and a third. Looking so good, and what a perfect way for GaRpY to close out this series. He's going to be taking this one 3-0. And look, if he was going to have a good result, at least it happened at the very end. Unfortunately for Spart1e, though, he's now going to have to concede a 3-0 as he goes into Italy, which probably doesn't feel too good. But GaRpY just giving us a walking frag movie as we speak. 10
just
seconds
wanted
on
an updated highlight reel before Luca, I feel like, here.
Oh yeah, he just wants to give us more clips. You know, all those clips were from week 1.
You know, he heard you say that, and he was like, I got a little something
I'll do
for
something
you.
about that. Ooh.
Oh my god, that would have been incredible. It's still incredible. 3-0 on the day for GaRpY. What was that, 15-0 on the map? Spart1e, I apologize. I feel like I did that to him.
Well, congratulations to the boy from Birmingham. That was a very, very dominant way to start off week number 10. And, I mean, what else really can you say about how that went? It was very clearly early on, GaRpY had such a frag lead that Spart1e's in a position where it's, okay, well, I haven't really got a lot of time now. So he's just going around corners pretty carelessly, I got to say. Like, how many of those frags even happened? Because GaRpY's just wait around the corner, have the rocket out, make sure I've got enough ammo. Yeah, fine. Fight happens, shield wall, I say he's dead. And that's, you know, in many ways, that's a champion matchup. That's a smart champion pick. And when you fight someone that plays clutch and they have control, I kind of think you need to be prepared for that. Because if a clutch has a huge stack and they kind of know where everything is on the map and you're the one that's behind, it's kind of, you know, if that engagement happens, he kind of almost has that, like, 70% advantage where he's going to win this fight. I mean, I guaranteed how many of these clips are we going to see where it started by GaRpY being point blank and he had a shield wall? And we talked about being a little bit tilted. I kind of think that some of those early frags might have got to Spart1e a little bit, because some of those fights definitely could have gone his way because he picked his points, hit the rails, but GaRpY just hit these next level rockets.
Yeah, the rocket precision was incredible from GaRpY, and I can't help but feel like maybe the first two maps Spart1e wasn't hitting enough rails for confidence, because the way that you want to play a stack clutch is usually stay away, chip, try and get in on the items. We didn't see a lot of rails from long distance from Spart1e. Instead, he had them up close, and he was still hitting a few, but not enough, and GaRpY eventually just ran away with it, and then we had this where it was a matter of I have to chase, and I'm running into a stack clutch with rockets, possibly shield, maybe he'll take himself out, but at the end of the day, you know that it's going to be an uphill battle and an extremely difficult one.
Yeah, I mean, there was potential for a fight to go his way last minute. I mean, not that it really would have meant anything at that point, but at least GaRpY gave us some bonus clips to use in one of his potential intros as we go into Italy next week.
And don't you ever talk about his clips again.
Scared. You better be scared of what you just saw.
Look what I did to him. Look what I did.
Yeah. Watch out, mate. Watch out.
I owe Spart1e an ice cold water. I feel like I did that. I'd like to take personal responsibility.
Commentator's curse is a real thing.
It is.
It exists. In any game, no matter how serious the tournament, if someone's on stream and someone's sitting there with a microphone on and they're like, this guy's really good at that.
Yeah.
They will not be good with that throughout the course of the entire stream.
My bad.
But it resulted in some fun games to watch there.
Absolutely. Again, the first two maps were extremely close. That last one was kind of an outlier. Spart1e kept it really close, a matter of seconds, maybe pixels even, on some of the frags that were the deciding factor. So I wouldn't count him out. I mean, he definitely wants to delete this from his memory, but going forward, what are you going to do? Just put it behind you.
Okay, so the last set of matches in the weekly broadcasts concludes for GaRpY and Spart1e. Up next, it's going to be Cooler the King up against Hron the Handler. And we have a short break to get through as we load up the next set of matches. It's going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere, because this is week number 10. This is Quake Pro League, and we'll see you in a few minutes' time.